And we are live. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in here. My name is Lee, and I'm one of the campus chapter mentors. I'm joined by Lorraine Magee, who is the founding president of She's the First American. And Lorraine is actually in Denmark right now, studying abroad, so we're especially lucky to have her with us. We'll be going over some fundraising tips. This is the first of a series called Ask the Experts, in which we give you some fundraising ideas for your chapter and how to come up with really creative ways to get your campus involved in your She's the First chapter. In the spirit of our Run the World campaign launching this week, which you will be getting information about separately, I've asked Lorraine to join me to talk about her fundraiser at American University because they had a very creative spin on it, and she has some great advice for you. So without any further ado, I will let Lorraine introduce herself and talk about her Walk the World program.
Hi everyone, as Lee said, my name is Lorraine and I'm a junior at American University in Washington, D.C. And I founded our chapter of She's the First back in the fall of my sophomore year, so we're just a little bit over a year old. And we ran into an issue last spring because we really wanted to participate in Run the World and the campaign. We really believed in what it was doing, but our school had banned 5K races for the semester because of construction that was going on. So we had this issue where we really wanted to participate, but we didn't quite know how to do it. And we were actually inspired by some fitness campaigns that were happening at local businesses where they were having their employees track their steps and try and get healthy. So we said, why don't we make a spin on this? Why don't we talk about walking? And that was something that I think really clicked with a lot of our members, especially when we tied it into the effort that a lot of the She's the First scholars have to do to get to school every day, you know, and girls around the world who have to walk so far just to get an education. And we're thinking, here we are sitting on our college campus, our dining hall and our classes are 5 feet away from where we live. Why can't we try and walk 5 miles a day and ask people to sponsor us so that we can raise some money and send these girls to school? So that was where the inspiration for the campaign came from.
Wonderful. So how many students did you have participate, and how did you really spread the word around your campus?
So what we started doing was by targeting our She's the First members, and it was right before finals week. It was like the week before finals week because we had some, you know, a lot of other things going on earlier in the semester. So it was definitely difficult to get people to commit, but the way that we advertised was we reached out to our members and we said, okay, here's what we want you to do. Here's your commitment. We will give you a pedometer. You will try and walk 10,000 steps a day, which is 5 miles, and we will also create an online fundraising page for you that you can then send out to your friends and family, telling them what you're doing, why you believe in it, why it's a good cause. And it's pretty simple, you know, because we were just asking people, you know, to take these steps to try to do everything they could to reach that goal every day and to spread the word to their friends and family. And we largely advertised, I guess, through social media networks, which, you know, is just absolutely magical when it comes to spreading the word. So one tool that we used that I definitely recommend was we wanted really cool images to advertise the week, so we used PicMonkey to take some of the photos that She's the First had on Flickr and add Walk the World Week and the details, stuff like that, because then you can have these really great pictures of She's the First scholars so people can put a face to the cause that they're working towards. So we advertised with a Facebook event, we sent out emails to our members, and when it came down to it, we had a lot of people supporting the campaign, and we had, I think, 22 people who decided to take the commitment to do the 10,000 steps a day and to fundraise. But what's really magical about that is 22 people participating. If they can each get 5 people to donate, you know, you're already at 100 people who have heard about this mission and decided to do something about it. So I think in the end we had over 110 donors to our campaign who lived all over the United States and all over the world, which is really amazing.
So it sounds like an easy way to get a lot of people involved, the masses, without putting a lot of money up front.
It's true. It's very true.
So what did you really have to put money out for, and where did you get that funding from?
Well, our campus does provide funding for student organizations that want to do fundraisers and events and stuff like that. So I know every campus is different, but the way it worked on ours was that we could create a budget and applied to receive funding from our student activities department. So when we applied for the event, we decided that we were going to ask for, as much as we could dream of getting and see what they were able to give us. So the estimate on the She's the First pedometers that we had with the She's the First logo on them, we got 100 of those for $250, which was actually great because we could use those this fall. We had another fitness-themed event, and we were able to use them again at that, at that thing. We were able to give those out as prizes and as gifts for people that participated. So I know it's scary if you have 20 people participating, but you are ordering 100 pedometers. It seems excessive, but you can definitely find a way to use them later on. So it cost $250 for the pedometers, and then we asked for $150 for our prizes for Walk the World Week. So we had prizes for the person who raised the most money, prizes for the person who took the most steps, and then we had random prizes for people who came to our opening ceremonies and our closing ceremonies. So overall, it came to $400 that we were asking for, and we were awarded the whole amount. We were extremely lucky, but I don't want that to discourage anyone from trying to do this fundraiser, because we just as easily could have asked people to download a pedometer app on their smartphone for free, and we could have asked for donations of gift cards from local businesses. And we really could have done this campaign for free if we had to. So if you're at a school where it's not as easy to get funding, don't let it discourage you. There's always a way to find people that are willing to contribute so that you can put on a really great campaign even without the backing behind it.
Yes, and your campus mentors, of course, are always here to help you brainstorm some ways around this brown box. Just a little shameless plug there. But now that we've talked about the budget and everything that went into the behind the scenes, could you talk a little more about the step-by-step planning that went into this and how you chose the date and things like that?
Absolutely. So step one was definitely setting a date. Again, for us, it was a little tricky because this inspiration came to us a little bit later in the semester. So definitely step one, pick a date. Find a week where it's not finals week, it's not midterms. Find a week where people are definitely active, but they're not overwhelmed with academics or something like that. So it's just about finding a week that works for you on your campus. Step two, I think, would be deciding what sort of money you're going to need for the event and how you're going to get it. Decide if you want to order pedometers, if you want to use a free app. Decide if you want to have those incentives or have them donated. Step three is definitely just getting the word out to the people that you want to participate. So make your Facebook event, make your logos, send out emails to your campus chapters, and get people to sign up. It's very easy to use a Wufoo form or a Google Doc to get people to express interest so that you can send them more information later on. And step four, honestly, is just having fun with it. Because once you're in the swing of things and you have these people signed up, it can be a really, really amazing week where you can post and you can share and you can say, wow, look at this person. They just got a $300 donation from somebody halfway across the world. Make sure that once you're in the swing of things, you can really sit back and focus on the amazing things that are happening with what you've put together. My other suggestion that sort of goes along with all of those steps is make it as easy as possible for people to participate. One thing that we did that definitely took a lot of work, but I think was very worth it in the end, was we used the CauseVox page to set up individual pages for each and every person that was participating, and that's something that our executive board did. So we made those individual pages. We gave people, we put automatically in a description of Walk the World Week on those pages for people, and then we sent them like the password we had used to create the page. So people could log in and all they had to do was add their own picture, and they could add a personal message if they wanted, but we had already created the pages for them so that it had a description of what they were doing. And we sent them all the information on how to send it out to their friends and family to get donations. And that definitely took a lot of work setting it up for everybody, for 20 different people making these pages, but it was so worth it in the end because I know that people get busy and I know it's really hard for us to ask people to go and set up these pages themselves and write these descriptions and all that. So make it as easy as possible for people to take part and just make it a fun process.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
I know that just brought an idea into my mind where you said that you set up the pages for them. I know you also had a mobile app involved with this
Yes.
campaign. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. So what we did was we had been really inspired by the mobile app that was used at the She's the First Summit the October before. So we decided, these mobile apps are a really great way to communicate with people and to get the information right on their phone so that if they're out with their friends, they don't have to log into a computer or go check their email to go find the details. They can just open up an app. So we used Yap to create our mobile app, and we used some of the same images that we had created for our Facebook page to make the the logo on the app and everything like that. So what the app had was it had a schedule of everything that was going on during the week, and it was also a great way for us to send push notifications to people that were participating. So every night during the week for Walk the World, we had a different event going on, and we tried to keep them as cheap as possible. So one night we did like yoga in the formal lounge of one of our residence halls, and we just logged in and had these yoga tips up, and it was really fun. But we were able to send a push notification to everybody saying, hey, this is starting in 10 minutes, hope to see you there. And that's really great because when someone gets a reminder on their phone, it makes it a lot easier than them having to write it down in a planner or something like that. So the app was a great way to communicate with people through push notifications, and it also allowed us to draw all the tweets that were going on with our Walk the World hashtag. So that was great too because it incorporates social media. People can tweet directly from the app and everything like that. So that was a really helpful tool, I think, during our campaign, and it's very easy to set up.
Yeah, I second that. As Lorraine said, we use that for the She's the First Summit every year, and I am not tech savvy at all, but I was able to work with that app very well. It's a simple way to, like Lorraine said, engage with people in real time, and that's something to keep in the back of your minds if you have some upcoming campaigns and you want to keep them going throughout the week. Push notifications are a very easy way to do that. Lorraine, I know that this program was part of a larger celebration on your campus. Could you tell us a little bit about that partnership?
Sure. I think that it's so super important to look for partnerships on your campus. A lot of times departments, like academic departments, have a lot of funding to sponsor student organizations that are having events, but sometimes they don't quite promote it. Not a lot of people know that that money's there and available for them. So we have this thing that goes out on our campus called Today at AU that has all the possible updates you could imagine. And I know every campus has that, and it's the kind of thing that you totally skim over. But definitely, if you are planning something, I suggest reading through that because I was lucky enough to see a post that the sustainability department had posted saying that it was AU Earth Month, and they were looking for partnerships with people that were doing something that somehow related to sustainability. And our campus has a really strong focus on social justice and how that can be incorporated with sustainability. We have a lot of conversations about how sending girls to school helps them have less children, which puts less strain on the population, meaning that you don't have as much food insecurity. So it all connects. It all, is related to sustainability. So we applied through a Google form saying, here's what we're doing, and here's, why we think it should be a part of AU Earth Month. We were accepted to the program, meaning they sent us a logo for AU Earth Month that we could add to our advertisements, and it also meant that whenever someone went to the Earth Month website or Facebook event or anything like that, they would see our opening ceremonies listed as a key event for AU Earth Month, which was really great because having those sorts of partnerships not only helps you for that campaign, but can help you a lot later on when you return to the same organizations and say, hey, we partnered with you last time and it went really well. So it was really helpful to, I think, have that partnership on our campus.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea, just for added promotion even. I know a lot of schools have women's groups or education groups that you could partner with, so keep that in mind as you're planning some of these big campaigns, that you could engage two audiences with one stone, if you will. Lorraine, I know you talked earlier in the chat about some of your prizes. Were those donated to you, or did you have to seek those out and pay for them yourself?
We purchased them for this campaign because we were lucky enough to have that funding. But something that was very interesting was we decided to get gift cards, 2 larger gift cards for 2 big prizes, most fundraised and most steps taken. And when I went to one of the stores to pick them up, they asked, like, oh, are you buying prizes? You know, I guess college students buying these expensive gift cards with university credit cards, you know, kind of clues them into the fact that it must be something with a student organization. And we explained what we were doing, and they gave us the business card for the manager of the store who we could get in touch with in the future to talk about getting those prizes donated. So we were lucky enough to have the funding to purchase them ourselves, which made things a lot easier because you usually have to apply pretty far in advance to get stuff donated. But even just going to the store and talking to them about what we're doing really opened up future doors for getting stuff donated. And definitely, even if it's a big store, like we were at Athleta that we were getting the gift cards, and that's a big chain, it's all over the place, but they still have programs where they will donate to you know, student organizations and people on college campuses. So we purchased a $50 gift card there, a $50 gift card from Nike, I think, and, you know, a couple smaller gift cards to give out as like door prizes at our opening ceremonies.
Nice. I know a lot of the students that I work with have come to me asking, like, how can I ask businesses to donate to me? And as intimidating as it sounds, most of them are very willing to donate to you and help you out in any way. It's just a matter of asking them.
Yeah, and what I really suggest is having like a letter. We had like a letter written out saying, here's who we are, here's what we're doing. It's tax deductible, which is like a big deal, you know, because she's the first, has the tax ID number. And businesses really, you have a lot of credibility once you tell them that you're affiliated with a big nonprofit that, you know, is officially recognized and all of that. So definitely have like a letter with you. Even if you're going in person, the person who you need to speak to might not be there that day. So you could leave a letter saying, oh, can you pass this on, and I'll give a call in 2 days or so to follow up. And that's really helpful because if you have something on paper, not only does it give you credibility, but it gives the people who are donating an opportunity to talk about what you're doing with the people around them. And I think that is another way to really spread the word, which is really great.
Definitely, that's great advice. Do you have any other thoughts for those listening and might want to bring this campaign back to their own campus? Do you have any additional advice for them?
I know one thing that we always talk about is sort of unforeseen obstacles. And one of the things that I think was definitely difficult was we had set a date and we were like totally ready to go. And then we had been awarded funding from the school, but it hadn't come through into our account yet. So we couldn't order the pedometers in time, and we ended up having to move our campaign a week later. Luckily, we had only sort of advertised the dates at meetings, and we hadn't really sent stuff out officially yet saying here's when it's going to be and here's how it's going to work. But that did put us closer to finals, and that can make it very difficult. So definitely, if you want to do this, you know, we started planning in March for an April campaign, but right now it's February, and if you want to do something in April, you have plenty of time to try and find those resources and make sure you have everything together before your campaign goes live. So I think the biggest thing is just, you know, having a set timeline of when you need to have orders in, when you need to have, you know, even when you want to have your Facebook event up is a big deal. If you set a day when you say, here's when we want to launch this campaign on our campus, and say, here's what we're doing, you should sign up, you should get interested. Another thing I'd suggest if you're bringing this to your campus is, I think when we do these fundraising campaigns, a lot of times we can get really caught up in the money and in the numbers, but something that was really helpful on our campus was we did, in the middle of the week, we did a screening of the Mago documentary, and we had a Google Hangout with Kristen and Kate, and we had them talk to people about what it was like to go film this documentary and what it was like to be there, and, you know, how it is to work with She's the First scholars. And I think that was one of the highlights of our week, because we were able to raise an additional, you know, $110 for her college scholarships that night, in addition to the over $2,000 that we raised from the rest of the campaign. So that was really amazing because, you know, these people participate, and we do get caught up in, oh, we just got, you know, $100 and I got $25 and all this. But it's really nice to take a minute to sit back and say, okay, where is this going? Why is this important? And during the week when people are busy, you don't know if you're going to hit your 10,000 steps the next day, it's really nice to have one night where you really focus on what the impact is, because it motivates you to keep going, keep posting, keep searching for donations. So definitely, if you can include some sort of awareness element in your larger fundraising campaign, then I think it can be really enriching for your overall goals.
Yeah, I just want to second that. I mean, Lorraine raised more than $2,000, which is incredible. But just keep in the back of your mind that every penny makes a difference with this organization. So if you're at the end of the week saying, "Oh my gosh, we only raised 100 or 200," that's still amazing. And we want to make sure that you know that, and that every money you raise makes a difference. So
every little bit counts.
Yeah. And just 2 follow-up notes. Lorraine mentioned sending letters, written letters to businesses when you're asking for donations. And just a reminder that in your shared campus Google Drive folder, we have template letterhead for you, and your campus mentor can always work with you on that letter. We all have experience doing it. So if you need help, phrasing it or just figuring out how to make the ask, that's what we're here for. And also, just wanted to say that unfortunately the Google Plus Q&A for this session is not working, as many of you may have noticed by now. But if you can go to your Facebook group, we'll be there, we'll be online, and Lorraine would be happy to answer any questions that you have, as will I and Katie. So unfortunately we can't take your questions live, but we will be seeing them in the Facebook group if you have any. Lorraine, do you have any closing remarks or anything you want to say?
I think the last thing that I would say is it's really important to realize how inspiring the work that you're doing is, and it's really important to be willing to talk to people about it. I know that's something that was hard for me when I first started this chapter. Was I really believed in this mission, I really believed in She's the First, but I felt really awkward going to people asking for donations and stuff like that, because it can feel like, you're inconveniencing someone, but really all that you're doing is you're providing them with really important knowledge about what's going on in the world. So definitely get the word out there as much as you can. We took pictures at every single event, and we tagged people on Facebook, and we put in the captions the description of what we were doing so that people could see that photo on their news feeds, click on it, and know exactly who we are and why we're doing this. And I think that's one of the things that was most amazing about the campaign, was not just how many people donated and how much we raised, because like you said, every single penny counts, but it was also all the people who contacted us saying, I can't make a donation right now, but I want to share this on my Facebook page, or I want to find out more about this, or how can I find out about bringing a chapter to my own school. And I think that was the most incredible part, because the idea of Walk the World Week and Run the World, I think, is really all about global connection, not just financially, but with this information and being inspired by people all over the world. So the idea that we were able to take what was going on our small campus chapter and spread it all over the country was just really one of the best parts of this week. So stay inspired, know that you're doing really amazing things and spreading the word to a lot of incredible people. And if anyone has any questions about what we were able to do, or if you need any advice at all, I'm definitely accessible via Facebook or Twitter or email, anything like that.
Great. And Run the World Part 2, our second year of the campaign, is launching on Tuesday, February 18th, so literally right around the corner. You'll be receiving some information from us early this week, and you'll also have the opportunity to create your own CauseVox pages, like Lorraine mentioned earlier in this chat. Many of you have come to me saying, I have no idea how to host a 5K, or I don't know what I'm doing. So I hope this case study served as some inspiration for you, that not every fundraiser you do in relation to Run the World has to be a marathon on your campus or anything like that. There are many creative fitness-related activities that we can work on together to, as Lorraine said, make the mission spread across the globe. And that's really the purpose behind what we're doing, and that's what all of you are contributing to our organization every day. So, like I said, we will be in the Facebook group answering any questions you have, and this recording will be shared on the blog if you would like to refer back to it at any time. And I'm here, and Katie and your mentors and Lorraine are here for any questions you have. So thanks for tuning in. Lorraine, I really appreciate you joining us from halfway across the world.
No problem.
Everyone, I hope you have a great week, and stay tuned for more information about Run the World.